Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. So today we've got something that didn't come from Harbor Freight, but we wanted to bring it to you just the same. So we got this Evolution chop saw for steel cutting off of Amazon. And this cost $366, but let's get it out of the box and see how it works. So let's start here on the left side of the saw. And the first thing is, here is the lock to hold that down. And they say to keep that locked down anytime you're not using the saw. So it just goes in with a turnbuckle, but then, like I said, the storage position is locked down. This motor turns at 1450 RPMs, which is about half what a regular wood cutting chop saw cuts. And this is a 15-inch saw. However, it comes with a 14-inch blade. Here on the table, we've got the Allen key that works for the guide as well as putting the saw blade on and off the saw. So here is the stop that you adjust to make sure that your blade doesn't cut into the bottom of your base. Here is your stop for your fence, and this one, how you adjust it is if you raise up on this lever, you can adjust it to whatever position you need to use it in, and then to loosen it, just come up. But if you need to ratchet it around, just do that. And then there is a bolt here that you loosen as well. And then also with this bolt, you can end up moving it to either the hole here or the hole there to change where your workplace sits against the fence. Okay, and with our stop loosened, we can change it to whatever angle we want. And there is a 0, a 15, a 30, and a 45 degree marking here on the guide. Oops. There we go. Loosen it up a little more. And here you see the different holes to put the stop in if you want to move it farther back or farther up. Now we've got the other end of our workpiece, and it has this quick clamp that goes down, and then you can ratchet it forward, but when it goes to slide back, it gets tight, it holds up, then you can simply release it to quick adjust it. This piece also adjusts to match whatever angle you've got here. So let's see, if we have that angle, which that says 45, move that up against it, and it'll hold the piece at 45. The other thing is, say the piece is kind of triangular shaped itself, you could lock it in that way by it being adjustable. Once you've got it in, lock it down, tighten it up, and that secures your workpiece. They say to never cut anything freehand, always lock it in the vise, and cutting freehand has led to injuries with this saw. The other thing we've got is our round stock holder, and that simply just slides on that, and then same thing, if you had a piece of tubing, you now can hold it more securely. So that's pretty nifty. Okay, and here's the blade side. So some of the stuff on this, they advertise quicker, safer, more accurate, and economical cuts. And the main reason we bought this saw is we're getting ready to do a project. We're doing our cabinet doors, and we're doing them in a rustic industrial size. We're going to cut a bunch of strapping out of 1.5 inch by 1/4 inch steel, and we're going to end up making those supports for that shelving. So we're going to cut a lot of that, and we didn't want to do it with a plasma cutter or a angle grinder because we did want them to be better cuts. So that's why we bought this. Let's go ahead and put the blade on now. To do that, we'll loosen this so we get access to our arbor. Here's our arbor stop. So we push that in and it will lock so we can tighten the blade up. The saw came with this 14-inch steel cutting blade, and it says it's supposed to get up to 1,000 cuts. So I think that'll do everything we're going to do. Okay, so I'll take my arbor all the way out, arbor bolt. blade's going to go right here. Okay, so they recommend wearing gloves, and I'd say that's probably a pretty good idea. So I went ahead and put some on. So we'll rotate our stop up out of the way. And then put our blade in. Okay. So it's in there. This guard kind of hangs up on it a little bit. You have to line everything up. So then we'll put our little washer thing back on and our nut. Okay, and this doesn't have a left-hand thread. It's just a regular righty-tighty, lefty-loosey deal. But we'll hold our arbor lock down and tighten it up. So if that's not down, it'll spin. And if you just hold that down, and it's kind of nice because it doesn't seem to like it has to find one specific spot. Just push it down and turn it, and it'll lock in. So then put our little guide cover back on. Tighten that down. Get a screwdriver and make sure that's tight. It looks good. Okay, we'll put our wrench back away. Now we'll look, make sure we're not hitting anything with the blade into the table here. And that's what this adjustment is for. So that's what this adjustment is for, is if your blade was hitting anywhere on your table, just raise that up a little bit to make it not go quite so far down in there, but we're not hitting anything. So we're good to go. Okay, so the on-off switch on this has a safety button. You have to depress that button. If you don't, you can't pull the trigger. If you depress that button, you can pull the trigger just fine. And it should pop back out. And it does. So push the button, squeeze the trigger. So the last feature is here in the back, and it's a chip collection tray. And you just pull that to unlock it, and then pull it out. And then this tray collects your chips. And relock it. Okay, I'll get this plugged in. And it says anytime you put a new blade on to run it without trying to cut something for a few minutes. I'm not going to do it that long, but just to make sure that that blade didn't have any defects in it and stuff. So let's go ahead and start it up and see it spin. And I'll make sure it's not going to hit anything on the table, and it did not. So the blade's not contacting anything. Here's something contacting something. What is it? Okay, I think it's just that guide or guard. Okay, it feels really smooth. So they do say it's a vibration hazard, so either limit your use or just be aware of that. Maybe wear some anti-vibration gloves, which these are not, but they do have them and you can get them. Okay, let's get a piece of steel and see how this works. Okay, so this is a piece of 1.5 inch wide by 1/4 inch thick, just standard steel. So we'll lock it in there, tighten it up, and see how it does. through pretty quick. Let's look, see what the cut looks like. Trying to get this in front of the camera without smacking you. So that cut is clean. It was easy. I would recommend hearing protection. It's fairly loud, but it doesn't really throw sparks, so that's nice. And I can feel a little warmth in that, but it's definitely not hot like you get with an angle grinder, which was how I was cutting these off before. So I'm gonna go ahead and try some other cuts and see how we like this. Okay, so I went ahead and put on hearing protection. And when I go to do a bunch of this stuff, I will put my respirator on, as well as probably a grinding shield, just to make sure you don't get anything in your eyes or damage your hearing or your lungs. Okay, let's try another cut. And this time I stood the piece of stock up, so it's cut much thinner for a longer length, I guess. We'll see how it does. And here it is, and again, it's hard to tell which end I just cut, tell you the truth, because neither one of them are warm. I think it was this end. So, nice, bright, shiny cut. If you're gonna weld that, like I said, that's clean, it's ready to go. So I'm gonna cut a couple more, and these are gonna be just some coupons for my practice welding. Oh, I guess that wouldn't really help. So that's one thing that, if they'd have put like Harbor Freight's shadow guide system on this, man, it'd make it nice. Okay, so let's cut our next one. Get you a different view. So there's our cut. Pretty nice. See how close we got to the same length. They're even pretty much the same length. Perfect. That's what I was looking for. All right, make our next cut. Again, pretty dang nice. Okay, so that's definitely quicker than the angle grinder, and it leaves pretty clean. There's some burrs there that honestly, like I said, they could be just knocked off. They're not anything bad. Okay, so here's the chip drawer. So there's some chips in there. It's not bad, not a lot. but it's better than having it all over your floor, which, looking at how much is on the table, I mean, that's not going to collect all of it, but it does a good portion at least. Okay, so that's my review of the Evolution 15-inch chop saw, and this material is the exact material that we're going to use on this upcoming cabinet door project, and it cut it very nicely. So it's going to work well for us, and if you get one of these, we hope it works well for you as well. And if you enjoyed this video, we'd appreciate a thumbs up. It definitely helps the channel out, and we invite you to subscribe to see more. Have a great day and be safe. This is going to be the right saw for us. If it's the right saw for you, only you can decide. See ya.